All right, Knights, we got to talk about this. Lots of news popped up last night from Capital Games while I was doing some overtime at work, and I wasn't expecting it at all. You know what's so funny about, before we get into it? I like to go on Reddit every now and then and just browse through all of the discussions and the posts regarding certain characters and teams, and when Satele was nerfed, I saw this post, and I don't know if I can find it right now. If I do, I'll pop it up on the screen about, oh, if they're doing this to Satele, then they should have done this with Ezra right away, because Ezra is completely overpowered with Rey. And I was like thinking in my head, you know what? If they were going to do that, it would have been when he was first released, or at least a couple months or sometime a couple weeks after his release. I'm like, there's no way they're going to go back and do it now. Well, I was wrong. I was very wrong, and I think a lot of us were very wrong, because CG is officially nerfing lots of teams. Lots of different teams. Even though it's only affecting 2 or 3 characters, it affects everything. It's a huge ripple effect, not only affecting Grand Arena, but also TW. I'm talking specifically very top-end guilds with their TW strategies that I cannot get into. Very reliant on Ezra. Ezra was a huge part of TW's success. And in Grand Arena, the ultimate decider factor of the toughest team on the defensive board was Ezra. There was always that gamble of, okay, is my opponent hiding Ezra with Ahsoka or with Rey? And they're usually hit in the back. We're going to get into it. If you guys aren't aware of the post, I'll talk about it, everything how I feel in a second, but I'm going to at least show you what I'm talking about. This is the post. Character kit adjustments. Rey is practically neutered as a GL now because of this, but officially nerfing Ezra Exile, Merrin, and buffing Phalanx while also, or reworking Phalanx's Omicron while also buffing GL Ahsoka, because she's honestly been trash. I'm sorry. She's only a acceptable Galactic Legend when paired with Ezra. We've known this for a while. Maybe you could do some weird timeout teams with like Wat Tambor, or plug and play with her with like an Inquisitor team with like Taron Malicos and do some fun stuff like that. We're always trying to find ways of making solo Ahsoka viable without Ezra. And now, the theory crafting is gone. The plug-and-play viability of Ezra is gone. He's completely locked to the Spectre faction. So, this is the post. I'm not going to read it line by line, but if you guys haven't checked it out, it's on the Swoga Events Discord in the channel, or the Swoga Updates section. You can find this on the forums. I'll read the beginning. We have information regarding some changes to some character kits that will be in a upcoming release. So, over here, the Phalanx Omicron was for Galactic Challenges. If you ever applied that, why? But good thing is if you did, you're getting it back. They're turning it into a TW Omicron. So now the Gungans are going to have 2 Omicrons for the TW game mode, 1 for Boss Nass, and now for the Phalanx. So that is going to be refunded to everyone's inbox, and we'll get a little bit into that later. The biggest thing by far about this entire post is going to be about Ezra Exile, because he is arguably the best non-Galactic Legend in this game, second to Bane, or vice versa. We're not here to have that debate. Bane and Ezra are the top 2 Conquest characters, non-GLs in the game. They are now completely putting him with Ahsoka. That is it. Ezra Exile was intended to be a lifter for GL Ahsoka. However, because his kit was so open-ended, he ended up with GL Rey. What do you mean open-ended? You guys decided to do that. That was your decision. This led to him overperforming with Rey and being very frustrating to face. Often, you can say that again. Often amplified by generic Datacron sets, it also left Ahsoka without her intended lifter and therefore underperforming. What? We have done a pass on Ezra's kit to gate key parts of his power to be with a full Spectre squad. Relic and Omicron investment into Ezra will be reset and refunded to inboxes when these changes go live, so that everyone can make their decisions again with full information. So here's the thing. You guys made Ezra open-ended because of the way you worded his kit. If you wanted him to be specifically with Ahsoka, then you should have just had ties to full Spectres to begin with. He has been in the game for what, 2 years now? 2 or 3 years or something like that? This is insane. Like, I don't understand how we have these things put in the game for years. Leviathan, Merrin, the Great Nerf of 2021, whenever it was. We've had these things in the game for a long time. Why are we nerfing them years later? I confirmed with my guildmate today. We've had Merrin, Omicron in the game for 4 years. Why now? I don't get it. I don't get it. But the problem is they're saying that they made the power amplified by generic datacron. So you're saying a generic datacron like 25% turn meter, 15% max health protection. Does that really? Is that what you're talking about? Is that the generic datacrons that you're saying it's better with Rey? No, it's not a datacron problem. It's a wording problem on Ezra not being released correctly for your intentions. You released Ezra as a plug-and-play character with not full ties to Spectre, so he could have been used with Rey. And when Ezra was released, I don't even think Ahsoka was in the game yet, so we were using him with Rey for a long time. So I don't really understand this whole thing about... Obviously, he was intended to be a lifter for Ahsoka. Bane was also intended to be a lifter for Sith Eternal. He is a solo galactic legend himself. So, are you now going to weaken Bane because he's not performing as intended with Sith Eternal? That he's too powerful on his own? It's the same concept. So, yeah. They're practically making Ezra tied to full Spectre. The theory crafting with him, with Jedi Master Kenobi, with JML, with Rey. You could even do crazy things with Stranger, Maul, like Star Killer. All of that is now gone because he's going to be practically almost useless without a full Spectre team. So it's really unfortunate because he was practically the last real plug-and-play character that we've had in this game. And I might not have talked about this a lot in my videos. I think I mentioned it every once in a while, but I'm a big proponent of plug-and-play characters. I think that makes for the most fun theory crafting. Like Wat Tambor is a perfect character because he can be used in so many teams. Emphas Nest, when she was first released all that time ago, was the most plug-and-play character at the time. You could even use her with a Sith Empire Darth Revan squad. You could use her with Rey. You could use her with Scoundrels. So many different squads. Plug-and-play is going away. And you're seeing it more and more with the new kits being released. Clearly faction ties, if statements that if this member is a full squad of this and that. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like, you're going to see the same generic boards over and over and over again because of how these kits are being changed and worded. It's like, okay, here we go. Obviously, there's Datacron metas. That's great. But, like, it'd be nice to change teams up in a while for different metas and like, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. But that's just like a mini rant by me. I love the theory crafting aspect of this game. It makes it fun. What they're doing is they're getting rid of more and more theory crafting and plug-and-play viability for these characters. So, Ezra's getting nerfed. Or Ahsoka's getting buffed and Rey's getting nerfed. So, they're also saying they're fixing a couple edge case weaknesses for Ahsoka centered around turn meter, trains, and preventing her from countering. These allowed for very cheap counters to succeed against her that exceed what we are comfortable with against a galactic legend. Well, I can tell you one thing. We're going to read a little bit more, and I think there's going to be something else that you guys are missing, or maybe you're aware of, but I don't know. Lastly, another galactic legend counter that exceeds our comfort level is Merrin, which we talked about earlier. Ability to take out Jabba. We will be gating Merrin's Omicron to only work when there are no galactic legends. We will reset and front her Omicron when this update goes live so that players can have that upgrade decision again. Okay, before we move on, I'm going to show you something on Swoga.gg Insight. This is Merrin's win rate in 3v3, right? It's 40%, and that's a lot of battles. I typically don't like going with counters that aren't like over like at least 70-80%. Don't like these odds at all. It's not a for sure win. It requires extensive modding and RNG to pull it off. Like I said, this has been in the game for 4 years. If you're losing, or if your job is getting beat by Merrin, it's because the player put in the time and resources and modding and took the risk of attempting it. It's not a guaranteed win. It requires modding and RNG. So I'm not even showing with like filtering by like datacrons or anything like that, but this is very high up in Kyber 1. I'm pretty sure this is showing Kyber gameplay, yeah. It's a 40% win rate. Like, give me a break. It's almost 4,000 battles. It's not that high, 40%. Look at 5v5. It's even lower. You guys really are trying to stop this? Like, 3% win rate with a full squad, 37% with a 4-man. Banners are trash, by the way. So, in today's day, if your opponent is using Merrin against Jabba and getting 58 banners, that's a win for you, at least in my neck of the woods. If I set Jabba and my opponent is getting the W with Merrin with that low banners, that's a win for me. So just want to show you guys these numbers about this nerf that they felt needed to do 4 years later. These are the win rates. It's not even high. So just wanted to showcase the win rate for Merrin about what they're worried about and trying to stop. Are they worried about Jabba being trash? Because I can name 6 other Jabba counters at this very moment that aren't Night Sisters. Well, technically, Great Mothers can do it. Queen Amidala, Satil, the new Cassian. Maybe it's because they're not a, I don't know, marquee team. You have Afra, and it's a legendary team. Fine, whatever. They're a marquee team. Is that what they want to stop? Let me just let you guys know about this. There's a current team in the game right now that's a non-legendary, non-conquest, non-galactic legend, whatever, legendary team that could beat almost every galactic legend in this game right now. Great Mothers. They better not be touching the Great Mothers, because that is one of my favorite teams in this game, and that's going to be a serious problem. But I feel like, watch, in like 2 years, Great Mothers are going to get nerfed. Well, they're exceeding expectations as a unit, and we're going to be nerfing them so that they can no longer doom when there's a GL in the field. Watch. Or they can't remove protection when there's a GL in the field. There's going to be some weird stuff with Great Mothers one day. Please don't do it, TG, but I just have a feeling. Also, we admire the deep theory crafting that occurs in the game and aim to preserve that while still honoring investments players make into the most of powerful units. So, here's another problem as well. Obviously, Ahsoka is going to get buffed. Maybe they want more players to unlock Ahsoka, because Ezra was performing just fine with Rey, so maybe they weren't getting people to go for Ahsoka much. Now, they're going to make people go for Ahsoka now. And this kind of sucks for anyone that purchased a Lightspeed bundle for Rey, that just got Ezra, that bump up their relic levels for Ezra, while they have Rey in their roster. They're not even close to Ahsoka, so Rey's going to be worse now with the heavy investment into Ezra. It's frustrating. So, Rey is going down in viability. Ahsoka is going to where she should, in fact, a little bit higher in viability. So, it is what it is. Got to talk about this. So, over here, you're going to see the Phalanx, it's turning into a TW Omicron. They're removing the evasion, reduce the plasma shield by 3. It'll be 3 additional stacks instead of 10. Reduce the offense to be 20% when the Gungans use a special instead of 50. And reduce the turn meter to be 10% instead of 20% whenever a Gungan ally attacks at a turn. So, the fact that there was a Galactic Challenge Omicron is actually bizarre back in the day. It's now a TW1. So, wanted to talk about that. The final tier here is for Merrin, while in Grand Arena, and there are no Galactic Legend no Galactic Legends. And then this one, we're going to talk about this right now. Ahsoka is getting a mini buff. I don't know if you consider it a mini buff, but it's a buff. Added to the unique ability, all tiers. When counterattacking, deal true damage to all enemies which can't be countered. Also, added to the unique ability, Ahsoka is immune to blind. So, here's my biggest question. And probably questions you guys will have. Will this stop Great Mothers? And my answer right now is going to say no, it's not. Because when running this counter, you don't have to worry about her true damage attack. Unless her true damage is going to be off the charts overpowered, I can't see it stopping Great Mothers, because the blind that Morgan gives isn't needed for Ahsoka. It's needed for Ezra to miss his big second special ability when he gets to his turn. Unless you don't one-shot him with Spirit, he's going to take a turn. If you end up killing someone on the Mass Swarm, the whole team gets blind. Now Ahsoka's not going to get blind. And I guess they're making her immune to blind because she can't counterattack her. When someone has blind in certain kits, they can't counterattack. I'm pretty sure it's 3PO. There was a time back in the day where I think it was a Santa Staros Datacron, and it revolved around her, someone giving blind to Ahsoka, and it really shut her down. I'm not sure who's doing blind right now that's stopping her. What I'm thinking right now is maybe if you're facing an Ahsoka with no Ezra and you use Bo-Katan Mandalore and IG-11 does the blind ability, maybe that's causing issues, but I can't imagine. But TLDR, I think Great Mothers are still going to beat Ahsoka Ezra as long as you have the modding right and a very strong Datacron. But that's mod dependent. It's not like it's a very high win rate. It requires the right effort and modding to get it done properly. So I don't know if this is going to be a banner stealing move or if this true damage is going to be very strong. We're going to have to see. I also don't know if she's counterattacking, like let's say she counterattacks Merrin and this deals true damage to all enemies. Is this going to remove the foresight off of Spirit? I don't think that's how it's going to work, but I'm very curious, very curious. And yeah, we're going to have to see how this blind works, but over here, they're going over everything on Ezra's kit. If you guys don't know where to find this, I'll end up leaving it in the description down below if you guys want to read it yourself, but you're going to see clauses like this. If all allies are Spectre, this attack scores a critical hit. So they're like removing what he was doing earlier, unless it's with a Spectre or full Spectre team. So over like that, you're going to see grant all Spectre allies this. If all allies are Spectre, he gains 2 stacks of resilient defense for 2 turns and 5 stacks of Purgle migration for the rest of battle. So that's gone. The resilient defense is gone. Unless he's with Ezra. Or with Ahsoka. While in Grand Arena, if all allies are Spectre, gains 25 stacks of Purgle migration, and all allies gain backup plans for 2 turns, which cannot be copied or dispelled. So that, again, grant all Spectre allies protection up. Over here is the same exact wording. Now, this one's annoying, because this was typically the first Omicron you would apply if you didn't have Ahsoka. If all allies are Spectre, for each critical hit scored, reduce the target's defense by 30% for 1 turn. So that is all Spectre. If all allies are Spectre, for each critical hit scored, deal 20% bonus damage on the target's max health. So his big damage is gone with Rey. It's just TLDR, again, he's not going with Rey. Rey is going back to being pretty bad. Well, she was not bad. I'm not going to say Rey's bad, but she's not nearly as strong as she's going to be. And for TW, I'm telling you, a lot of the strategies in TW is going to be the Ahsoka wall or the Rey wall with Ezra. It's like, I'm not going to get into the specific details, but you guys play TW. It mostly comes down to, like, depending on the Datacron set, but a lot of times it's like, oh, the Rey wall killed us. The Ahsoka wall killed us. There's not going to be much difference. Like, you're going to see the same thing over and over. It's going to be the same Ahsoka team with Ezra, because you can't even plug and play certain characters with there anymore. You can't put Malix. You can't put Watts. It kills the viability of the team. It shuts down half the kit, or practically the full kit. So it's going to be interesting. Again, all Spectre claws, and it's very, very frustrating. So if you guys want to read this, go ahead. It talks about everything in detail about the kit. And I was looking at some of the comments earlier, and this player had a really good point. Will you be refunding the Asajj Omicron 2? I literally applied it and some extra relic levels today. They make it safer for Jabba. I haven't even got to use it yet, and the team has little to no use in the meta outside of countering Jabba in niche Datacron sets. So it's a very solid point. Very, very solid point. What about the team and squads surrounding the counter you were working towards, or stuff like that? Like, what if I just spent a token? What if I just spent... Because I was thinking about doing it, actually. I was thinking about spending a brand new Lightspeed token on Merrin to fit into my Great Mother squad on my free-to-play account. I'm happy I didn't. Not that I was going to be used for the particular reason that I wanted, but that's a decision that I made for a certain, it's just a ripple effect. So, got to see what TG's going to do. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think this was needed? Was this something that should have happened a long time ago? My biggest question is, why now? Is there something they don't like? Is there something coming out that they want to stop? I don't know. Is the new Galactic Legend only going to be countered by Ezra and Ahsoka or something? Or are they worried that these new marquees are going to make Rey more powerful? I have no idea, but that's a big tinfoil hat theory, and I want to know what you guys think about this. So, please, all in the comment section. Did this need to happen? Why did it happen? And are you happy that it happened? Me personally, not happy that it happened. I don't like nerfs. I don't like making things exclusive to certain teams unless there's a reason for it. I think Rey with Ezra was a strong team. I think Ahsoka Ezra was a strong team. And I think Ezra was a very fun plug-and-play character that could even be used with JMK at some point. So, it's annoying. It is what it is, but we'll have to move forward. Not a negative video, just a little bit of a rant going over my feelings about the direction of how the meta is going to form with certain squads going forward. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more content and to be notified for all my videos. So, thank you guys again. May the Force be with you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.